Welcome to the Geeky N8 Show.
We're Tom and Lacey of Do You Nerd.
Let's get geeky.
Welcome one and all to the Geeky N8 Show. Buckle up, it's going to be fun.
Hey Geekies, and welcome to episode 1 of the Geeky N8 Show. Today we've got an epic lineup for you. So over in the retro corner, we're going to be looking back at the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater line on the PlayStation and PlayStation 2. So definitely keep an eye out for that. We have our wonderful podcast with the Geekcast crew of Frosty, the Retro Perspective, Ellen, myself, and today's guest star is the wonderful RaeRae, who will be in there. We will be hosting our first proper board game playthrough. This is a digital playthrough of a game that is yet to be released. The Kickstarter has ended for the game. However, the physical copies will be rolling out at some point in the next several months to a year. This game is called Captain's Gambit. It is a basically a space opera themed around the various Shakespeare characters reimagined as aliens. It's an amazing game, so keep an eye out for that. We will have Geeky News, where we'll be going down on the stats for the latest games that have come out. We'll be having a look at some of the new movies that are coming out, some of the news from Disney Plus, and a whole lot of other stuff. So keep an eye out for when that goes up. And yeah, that's going to be it for episode 1 of the Geeky N8 Show. So why don't we go and check in with our wonderful podcast crew and do our first podcast. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. Thank you for that, Geeky. Right, so the podcast will kick off in a short second. I just wanted to say thank you for everyone that's joined the podcast, everybody who's going to be guest starring over the year ahead, and everyone check in the description below. That is where you're going to find the links to all these wonderful people, be it their Twitters or their YouTube. So yeah, sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and let's hop in. I'm Geeky, and today we have Ellen, Frosty,
Hi.
Jake,
Hi there.
and Ray with us.
Hello.
Let's get
get
geeky.
Welcome everyone to episode 1 of Getting Geeky for April of 2020. So let's kick off. We're getting to know this fun-dangled party that we've got here. So Ellen, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, thank you for having me. I am Ellen. I don't really know what to say about myself. I don't have to describe myself very often. I'm not a gamer. That's probably the first thing I should say. So I'll be geeky about other things, but not games. How's that?
That is perfect.
Maybe you should say what geeky things you are into.
Okay. I would say that I'm kind of a geek for like 90s and 80s films and TV shows. I'm a big music geek. I'm a wrestling geek. And yeah, I guess those are the geeky things about me. Also, I play D&D. That's traditional geekiness.
That is traditional nerd there. I heard you mention wrestling. I think we need to ask who your favorite wrestler is.
Of all time.
Yeah, of all time.
Kenny Omega. Love him.
Sorry, say that again, because
What?
I sound every.
Oh, Kenny Omega is my favorite wrestler. He's actually a huge gamer, so he kind of ties in.
There's
Is that
quite
a new
few of
wrestler?
them.
No, he's been around for like 15 years or something.
I don't
Surprised
follow
I've
wrestling
not heard
enough
of
to
him.
be able to agree or disagree, and I don't really care much for wrestling, so it's all cool.
Well,
Yeah.
he's a huge nerd and a huge gamer, and he got really big in Japan wrestling over there. So there's some geeky tie-ins.
Nice, I think that counts. Okay,
Yeah.
and the final question: what Power Ranger would you be?
I would be the yellow Power Ranger because she is underrated.
Nice.
Not that
Okay.
I'm underrated. I rate myself very highly.
Go self-confident.
Okay, I'm done.
Frosty, do you want to
How?
introduce yourself?
Well, of course, you don't need to ask twice. Hi guys, I am Frosty. I'm from sunny South Africa, Cape Town, in sunny South Africa. I am a huge gamer, and I don't really fathom much with shows. I have enjoyed The Witcher and The Mandalorian, but that's about it. Anywho, otherwise I find myself drawing or streaming me playing video games. That's about it.
And also watching a fair bit of anime, right?
Yeah. Anime. Right now, I'm still waiting for season 4 of My Hero Academia to finish so I can binge it, because apparently season 5 is coming up very soon, and I'm super hyped about it.
Oh man,
Can't
I'm
wait.
gonna have to do some catch up. I haven't watched My Hero yet. I just binged season 1 of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
That's a good one.
Which had me asking a few questions, if I'm honest. Yeah, there was a couple of questionable scenes. More noises than seen, really.
I'm told that
as part of the female perspective, I'm going to say no. No, it's not.
I'm
Jake,
told
you go
that the
first.
title is not actually representative of what it actually is.
If I'm in a dungeon, I don't want to be picked up. I'm just saying this.
You want to be carried off, you want to be swept off your feet and carried out of that dungeon like a real hero should do.
It's
I'm pretty sure she's just gonna fight her way out
it's
of the dungeon
it's an
herself.
interesting title for the fact that that's exactly the gist. The main character, the female that he's completely enamored with, is a much higher level than him, kicks ass with no help, and he basically
has to try and get on
feels
her
that
level.
the only way that he could ever be seen by her would be to work on becoming becoming her equal.
Well, that sounds way better than the
nice.
title was.
Yeah.
The title is because the whole way through it, this character is continually being chased down by various waifu characters, from the goddess that's given him powers to be able to go dungeon crawling, to the various barmaids and other people that he meets along the way. It basically, he's if he was a D&D character, he'd have really high charisma, but he would actually be socially awkward. But no matter how awkward he is, people still just love him because of
So
his
he's
high
like
charisma.
Michael Cera. He's like Michael Cera.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's Michael Cera?
So why? He's so awkward.
I'm so confused. Who's Michael Cera?
Oh, the guy from Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
But imagine that, an awkward character with high charisma just opens his mouth and all the ladies around him is just like, give me your babies!
Yeah, so I actually highly recommend it. I've just binged the first season. It was quite a lot of fun.
But also, Geeky, on the topic of strange and awkward sounds on an anime, I haven't actually officially watched it yet, but apparently there's this really weird, vulgar anime called something reviewers, interspecies reviewers. There we go.
Oh god, I don't like the sound of this.
I'm not going to go too much into detail. Just check out a trailer or something.
Okay. I'll check out a trailer, but that sounds really like... Check that out when people are asleep.
Yeah, that is
It's funny
definitely
It's funny you should say that.
With the lights off.
It's funny you should say that because the last anime I watched was a really old one that was about a guy who had a fear of women, and so his dad invites two twins to come and live with them, and they're obviously trying to seduce him and things.
Is the anime's name by any chance Kiss Excess?
No, it's not. No, I'm sure there's quite a few similar animes there.
I think we need to get like some Freudian analysis brought in like somewhere. Some of this stuff, guys.
The anime
If Floyd
opens.
was about it today, he would have a field day with Japanese
Ah.
animation.
Yeah, definitely.
he'd be just like made up. He'd be so happy.
Yeah, the anime opens, I think, with the main character having a dream that just giant disembodied breasts are chasing him,
Oh my!
and he can't get away from them.
There's nothing.
And from that moment, I was hooked.
Nice.
Anyway, where were we?
Yes, we're going over to Jake now to tell us
Introductions.
a bit about himself, which is having nightmares about giant boobs.
We already talked about Jake.
So hi there, I'm Jake. I run a YouTube channel called The Retro Perspective. I'm a retro game collector focusing on PS1 and PS2 games, as well as the official PlayStation magazine. And I'm also into all sorts of other things, as you might have gathered already.
You get edited out, so just tell us what they are.
Well, South Korean movies.
This isn't getting anything out over.
Yeah, that's a topic that's not going to blow over.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of South Korean movies. Very depressing movies generally.
Oh, I love a depressing movie. Oh, I love them.
Good at the right times.
Did you see Parasite?
Yeah,
Not yet.
absolutely love
No.
Oh, that's
One of my
a good one.
favourite films.
Definitely watch. What's your favourite South Korean movie?
it. So the director of Old Boy is called Park Chan-wook, and he did a romantic comedy called I'm a Cyborg, but That's Okay.
I like that title.
Yeah,
That sounds like it might be on Netflix. Is it on Netflix?
it probably is, yeah. I think a lot of his films are on Netflix,
Great.
along with Bong Joon-ho, who is the director of Parasite, I think.
Fantastic.
Next.
I
I
was
feel
gonna
like
say
the
that, like,
moderator.
I don't.
It's everything's gone.
It's okay. The screen can turn off occasionally. This is how technology works. They have screensavers.
Screensavers are there for a reason.
RaeRae, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm RaeRae. I'm an actor and a singer, and a theater nerd. And also I'm obsessed with Disney. So that's probably my geekiest thing.
Yeah.
And I play D&D, and I'm a board gamer. So those are my kind of main
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean,
geeky attributes. And I'm playing Animal Crossing at the moment.
Compulsively.
compulsively is definitely the word.
Yeah.
Wakes up. Where's my Switch? I need to go and farm and sell at the shop.
This is my first video game. First foray into gaming. I wasn't allowed to do it as a kid.
Has the handheld mode of the Switch come in handy?
I think that's 99% the way Rachel plays.
Ah.
Yeah, that is mostly how I play. And
Well, when RaeRae says she's like obsessed with Disney, does that mean like, haha, she likes Mickey Mouse, haha?
Yes. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Yep, there was birthday party a few years back, which everyone had to come in Disney fancy dress. I came
Oh,
as
that
Walt
sounds
Disney.
good.
He came as Walt Disney, but
I got accused of being Hitler.
You should have told them Hitler's hair was black, dumbasses.
So's Walt's.
Right, I forgot.
The mustache doesn't help either. His mustache is just slightly wider than a Hitler tash.
Just crucially, just that bit bigger.
Just for a second, I'm gonna have to go and check on the kittens because somebody's screaming upstairs. So I'll be right back.
She's not screaming.
Alright.
She's meeping.
I will also just add in for RaeRae that she's such a Disney geek that her last birthday was a Disney themed D&D party.
Yeah.
So that's pretty class.
So it'll be like Mickey the Knight, Donald Duck the Wizard.
What did you say?
I was telling them about your D&D birthday party. with the
Oh, yeah.
Disney D&D.
Okay, so I get this picture now in my mind, like Mickey as the king, Donald as the wizard, and Goofy as the squire.
Yeah,
A
little
we
bit.
didn't really have
A little
them
bit.
in the game.
No, it was Kingdom Hearts esque. So what we did, I wrote a story that required either a villains team or a heroes team to have to go off and get certain key items which were related to each of the stories.
Yes.
And what we didn't get to was the part 2 of the story, where after the heroes and villains had gone off on their adventures, raiding key Disney locations and getting key magical items, they would have found themselves at what's his name? At Yen Sid's castle.
Yeah.
Which
It's
I
just
completely
spelled backwards.
yes, I know. But I completely hijacked that one from Kingdom Hearts for the area. And what was going to happen is they would rock up there, go into a PvP battle of the heroes versus the villains.
Yeah.
And then Mickey was going to appear in his sorcerer robes, take all the items, and release what's his name? The villain, Chernobog, and force the heroes and villains to have to come together to defeat Chernobog, Mickey, Goofy, and all the other guys.
But
Is that the
it took
thing
us
from
too-
Fantasia?
Yeah. It took us too long to get there. We were having too much
It's-
fun doing the regular adventure.
Yes,
It,
main
yeah,
adventure.
it
Classic
sounds like it could
D&D,
take a
just
lot
getting
of time.
sidetracked.
Well, if you sat down and wrote a story, you've already got one up on recent Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah.
I'm just going to guess that was a sick burn.
A sick burn on Tetsuya Nomura, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
poor Tetsu.
savage. Savagery.
I
Hold
hope
on,
he's
where's
listening.
the air horn sound?
Okay, so
I mean, someone
let's move
did
on to
it.
the next subject then. So, thanks to COVID-19 and the joys of underprepared governments and everything else, we're all now in a lockdown state. So what are people doing with either the time that they've acquired? Like for me, I don't have the 2 hours of traveling each day, so that's been quite nice. So yeah, what are you doing to pass the time? Any new games you're playing? Any shows you've finally been able to binge because life has been in the way before?
Okay, who's going to answer that first?
I'll give
Yeah,
you
don't-
guys one guess as to what I've been spending my time doing.
Take a drink
me,
every
me.
time. Take a drink every time RaeRae mentions Animal Crossing.
You'd
Right.
be wasted with alcohol poisoning in the hospital.
I kind of want
No
my
offense.
whiskey to last a bit more than one day.
You guys can't have that. That's what I'm saying. That's mostly what I've been doing. What else have I done? We've also started binge watching Boy Meets World, which is on Disney Plus, which we're, I guess, coming to that topic.
Yeah, we'll be coming to that topic.
I started a Disney film club
Ooh.
with some friends.
Yeah.
So we just basically, I don't know how this has happened because they're my friends, but there are significant gaps in their Disney film knowledge. And I'm not talking the obscure films like Home on the Range. No. We watched
Home on
Beauty
the
and the
Range was a
Beast.
freaking beautiful movie.
Home on the Range.
Oh.
Well, it's okay. It has Judi Dench in it, so that's
a win.
a
Yeah,
plus.
but so did Cats.
And
They
that
should
was
make a lot.
No, the Cats movie was clearly just about trying to get as much of Taylor Swift's body on camera as possible.
also enhancing it,
Yeah.
from what I hear.
Yes.
It's just I don't really know, but
Cats is a worthwhile experience, if nothing else.
I was told by a friend of mine that maybe you should edit this out. I was told that you should watch Cats while high.
Oh my god, I didn't see it high, and I would love to rewatch it, like either drunk or
would
high.
have worked for the stage show as well.
Well, that's what some people did say, actually.
Well-
Some people said the film was terrible, and then other people said, did you see the stage show?
I mean, if
Oh,
you've
man.
seen Jesus Christ Superstar, I think a lot of the cast are high in that
Oh,
film.
that's a great. Are
I
you
mean-
talking about the movie?
Yeah, the movie Jesus Christ
Yeah.
Superstar.
Oh, so good.
They all look high.
I think that was a real stoner movie.
Yeah, it's my favourite Andrew Lloyd Webber movie.
Ooh.
Well, it's my favourite musical in general, to be honest.
It's very like epic.
Yeah.
So in my house, we watched that every Easter along with the 10 Commandments, which we also watched every Easter.
Interesting.
I've not heard that Andrew Lloyd Webber musical.
Oh no, it's just a regular movie with Charlton Heston.
Okay.
It's just an extended version of that Dua Lipa song.
Excellent.
One.
See, for Easter for us, we always watch Watership Down because who doesn't want to be depressed?
That's the most traumatic movie. Oh my god.
Let's watch it down. A movie. That movie. I didn't even finish it.
I know.
It traumatized me so much that I only watched the first 15 minutes.
I mean, that opening is pretty terrifying.
I don't
Anyway.
know. What... Easter
Any-
full of lovely bunnies and chicks and chocolate and terrifying
And the blood of Christ.
death and gore.
Well, I mean, that's valid, right? That's exactly what happened to
That's what happened to
Jesus,
Jesus,
right? Anyway, carry on. So for me, I've been playing a hell of a lot of Doom Eternal. That is a sweet game. I've been playing that on Stadia, which obviously gets a lot of crap from people in the States because they can't, sort out having decent internet there. But it plays amazingly well over here.
Burn.
I have also been playing Animal Crossing, yes, and Pokemon.
Okay, hold on. Let me just go get a drink. Someone mentioned Animal Crossing.
Which Pokemon?
Sword and Shield.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Were you disappointed in the decision to, what's the word? To betray everyone, I guess you would say.
what you mean in not giving the full Pokedex?
Exactly, yeah.
I don't mind it because I've always felt that the full Pokedex was overwhelming at this point, and from a competitive point of view, it meant that you were guaranteed to see the same Pokemon sets.
Wait, I'm confused.
Well, so
didn't get the full Pokedex.
we only got 400 Pokemon of the 920 something about there.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear
but they
Jesus
can get
Christ,
rid
it's
of,
900
like-
and something now.
They can get rid of like the bin bag Pokemon and the car keys Pokemon and shit like that, can't they?
Yeah, they really should. Like, there was...
And then we'd have 251 Pokemon, i.e. the good Pokemon.
But I do quite like the designs in the new game, and
Except for the trash bag.
well, that's an old Pokemon.
That's black and white, is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't
Yeah.
really know because this is my first. It's not. I'll caveat that it's not my first Pokemon game.
It's the first one you've paid real attention to and played
No.
all the way through.
It's Pokemon Red. I think it's Pokemon Red, but it was my brother's, and he got really angry with me.
Did you delete his save file?
I don't think so.
that's not a very.
She deleted his save file.
I mean, I
explicitly told I wasn't allowed to save.
I would legit murder my family members if they ever delete my save files of that.
Yeah. I mean, I did spend a chunk of time just before the free period of Pokemon Bank ran up to transfer every single Pokemon from Bank up to home, just so I've got my whole collection sitting there. That took so long.
I didn't release the rest of the Pokedex in June. I thought that was
No, so in June we've got one expansion pass, and then I think it's August is the second half of that, and that's only bringing in another 200 Pokemon.
Are we sure?
Yeah, that's what they've announced. But it is bringing in a whole lot of legendaries and potentially either 3 new legendaries or the first ever regional difference of a legendary, which would probably completely ruin the mythos of Mew creating all of them. So yeah, it would be an interesting piece either way. It looks pretty cool.
As long as it
Well,
looks pretty cool, it should
I'm
be
definitely
fine,
going to
right?
be doing that. I'll take a break from my island.
Sorry, Frosty, what was that?
I mean, as long as it looks cool, then then it should be fine, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, and then the other game I've been playing is Astral Chain. I've been going back to try and finish that off because I got sidetracked with lots of new games. That is a game for anybody who owns a Switch who likes adventure action games. It's well worth the money.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
just got a bit of the
Unfortunately,
Rona there.
I don't really understand how you guys can play so many games. I can only play one at a time.
Well, that is because you haven't tried any of the other awesome titles. I mean, Human Fall Flat on PC for one. That is
I'm
up
not
for
sure
good
it's
laugh.
good.
I mean, she's got a Mac, so
Oh, right.
limited selection of games there.
That's
However,
true.
I do.
Dare you?
Well, no, like as a Mac stan, like the game selection that you can get for it is very poor.
Yeah, it's because Mac was like, oh, let's let people focus on art and shit on our platform while the Windows guys can enjoy the games.
All I'm gonna say is I prefer my games made of cardboard and plastic.
Yeah, you're
board
more of
games.
you're a board game chick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I
That's
get
fine.
that.
That's
I mean,
all
that's the other thing we've
right.
been doing a fair bit of in this pandemic.
We were
Playing the board game
Pandemic.
Pandemic.
I love
To
escapism.
add to the humor, I decided to pick up Plague Inc., the board game as well.
I was just going to say about that. Yeah, there's. I've seen someone playing it. It looks really good. The board game, I mean.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Plague Inc., as in the game where you have to infect an entire world, is on a
Yes.
board
Yes.
game now.
The one
Yeah.
that was a mobile game, which actually does really good simulation of virus spread. So had anybody, been half paying attention, you could have seen all the interesting ways that viruses can spread and the best ways of doing things.
People that play board games are not the people who are in charge of the countries that this is.
No. Well, Plague Inc. Started out as a mobile game, and they have some really accurate simulation software for the virus spreads. Yes, no, you're right. Just like the people that run our countries don't actually read scientific reports that get dropped on their plate, warning them of potential events like this.
Speak for yourself.
They do read them
Ireland's
after
been doing
it
pretty
happens.
good.
Who? What? Him?
Ireland's doing pretty good.
Yeah,
you guys reacted properly.
I don't know whether it's UK as a whole or
Not to
just
rub it in your
England,
faces or anything, but
we are like bottom in terms of percentage of tested population.
Hold on, I actually got
I
a
mean-
webpage open on the current cases. Just give me 1 minute.
to be
and
fair, though, I don't think any government has reacted or responded to the best of anyone's ability. Like, there's a lot our government has to answer for as well. So I don't want to be like Ireland's brilliant and you're all shit.
But I'm
No,
pretty sure
Ireland
that
is so nice.
America has responded the worst.
Uh,
Well, of course.
Okay, sorry guys, I hate to break it to you like this. Ireland is sitting with almost 15,000 cases, whereas South Africa is only sitting with 3,000 confirmed.
But you have to stop it later.
Also, is that also including the statistics where your murder rate has gone down a lot because no one's allowed outside?
Yep.
It's
I mean,
okay.
I'm not gonna
It's
deny
okay.
it.
I'm from one of the most dangerous parts of South Africa originally. I can say this. I can do it.
Yeah, you're allowed to say it. You are actually from South Africa.
Exactly.
I mean, if
So,
it were any
yeah.
other person, I would be like, hey, fuck you.
Praat je Afrikaans?
Ja, natuurlijk.
Oh, okay. We can talk about these guys in front of them. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to break it to you, but no one is in front of anybody.
Well, technically, we are digitally in front of each other, so don't come here with that technicality stuff of yours, okay?
No, but
This is-
in front.
Nah.
This is what the world
I'm
is
gonna
like.
try and put us back on topic
Oh, sorry,
at the
sorry.
moment.
Okay.
So, Frosty, what have you been doing with the lockdown?
Well, with the lockdown, it's mostly been looking after my kid. Games wise, in honor of the Little Nightmares 2 coming out, which I'm pretty hyped up about, I have re-downloaded Little Nightmares 1 and I've gotten into that. Nearly finished it in one night. And yeah, I've been getting into some other games. The collab we had on Human Fall Flat.
Oh, yeah,
Otherwise, I would be drawing. And speaking of drawing, I've actually started to take up a little bit of an art project that wifey has requested from me, and
nice.
that is drawing every pup of the Paw Patrol for the little dude's room.
Did you say Snow Patrol?
No, Paw Patrol.
Oh, Paw
Paw
Patrol.
Patrol. Yep.
The kids.
The
TV
band
show.
Snow Patrol.
Never mind.
Ray got really excited thinking you were talking about the band Snow Patrol.
Oh yeah, Snow Patrol. They were a pretty good band.
They were.
They had that one song.
I'm now just
Yeah,
picturing a bunch of dogs playing guitar.
Well, funny enough, in some episodes they do play guitar.
Brilliant.
Paw
Amazing.
Patrol sounds sick.
Paw Patrol is pretty cute. Trust me, because of the curse of the parent, I am forced to watch it with him.
Yeah. Forced to. You know damn well that Frosty is the first one in front of the TV when the Paw Patrol's about to start.
Not in front of the entire world, Geeky.
Is parenthood just an excuse to watch cartoons again?
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
I mean, for
I
one,
mean,
I'm
I
going to
don't
make sure that
honestly-
before we have kids, we have the whole of the original Sonic cartoons on DVD.
I mean, in all honesty, for me, who wanted to become an animator professionally, I actually enjoy watching these little cartoons and admiring every different animation style and all that.
Oh yeah, there's so many
You should
now.
be Disney Fan Club.
I mean,
Yeah.
one animation style that I cannot get over is the Teen Titans Go. It is so shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the old Teen Titans was so good, and now the
Yeah,
new
that
one
was more of an
garbage.
anime type of animation
Awful.
style.
Yeah.
At least though, Teen Titans the original is getting completed with the final season. So
Thanks to God.
About time.
yeah, totally.
Going back to
Anyway,
what you said before, I'm not even a parent, and I've been watching SpongeBob SquarePants recently. So you know, you don't have to be a parent.
You know, the SpongeBob. We got a remake of an old video game of SpongeBob coming out as well.
Are
Oh,
you being
really?
very...
Yeah, the Battle for Bikini Bottom is being remade.
Are you being serious? The Battle for Bikini Bottom of all SpongeBob games.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ Almighty.
SpongeBob was great. Back in college, there'd be many nights where we would come back drunk and just binge on SpongeBob through the early hours. Drunk SpongeBob is truly the best way to experience it.
I mean, I
guess.
definitely agree with that. But kind of on that note, like, I feel getting to watch everything on Disney Plus they loved watching growing up is kind of similar. I just watch cartoons now because they have Gargoyles, which was my favorite show when I was little, and now it's so good. It's like it stands up so good against the test of time.
The art in that,
But also, they have like the X-Men cartoons on there as well. I hadn't realized.
Yeah,
So I
'cause
now I get to
it's,
binge the entirety of the X-Men cartoon from the 90s, which I absolutely loved.
the
Yeah,
absolute
that was a pretty
best
good
X-Men
one, actually.
animation ever. Now that's all thanks to the Fox acquisition. So we've got all of the Simpsons on there as well.
Do they have Tailspin? I don't
Yes.
actually check.
Tailspin's
Oh,
on
great.
there.
I
The
know Beyblade is on there.
Yeah.
I've already watched.
original DuckTales, the Timon and
Yes,
Pumbaa.
I've been watching a bit of
original
DuckTales.
DuckTales.
The
Woo!
Aladdin's animations on there as well. It's basically the whole of the 90s animations are all on there. I found Darkwing Duck the other day. I was just like, yes.
Oh my
The
god,
only thing is
Darkwing
they're missing a few of like the live action series they had from like the 90s and the early 2000s, which makes me a bit sad.
Which one? Which one?
So they don't have like Home Improvement, which was like a huge show on the Disney Channel, or they don't have Smart Guy. Smart Guy was a great one.
because Smart Guy they should have, but Home Improvement was not on the Disney Channel. It was on ABC.
Oh, we had it on the Disney Channel here for some reason.
We did because of the UK and Ireland's TV licensing setup, but basically the ownership would have been with ABC.
I think it was ABC. No, maybe it was NBC.
No, it was ABC.
It was one.
ABC.
It was well,
Well,
whatever.
It was ABC before
But
Disney
something like
owned ABC.
Something like
And
Smart Guy, I
think-
really wanted to see.
Yeah, Smart Guy should have been on the Disney Channel.
So we've
don't-
kind of like moved into the Disney Plus section of the chat.
My favorite.
Sorry, I've co-opted. We've co-opted it now.
It is a sign. We must continue with the Disney Plus.
I agree. So obviously now that it hit the UK from the end of March, well the UK and Ireland and I guess Europe in general. Sadly not South Africa, so
One day.
Yeah.
I mean,
I,
say, what I don't understand is why they put Onward on Disney Plus US and not in the UK, because apparently they quoted that it was licensing issues, but I'm like, Disney, how is it a licensing issue? You own the film and you own the streaming service.
it will be the ratings part. So when it goes to ratings for a movie, the UK being beautiful and wonderful and complicated, when you re-release it on DVD, it has to
Oh my
go
god,
back to
that's
the
my
ratings board.
Tinder bio.
And
What?
Just beautiful and complicated.
Did you say that was
Beautiful.
like your Tinder bio?
Yeah, beautiful and complicated.
Oh, okay, I get it. I thought it had to go back to the ratings board.
I don't want to tell you what my rating is from the ratings board.
Yeah, I mean, so
honestly
we
don't wanna
started
know
watching
more.
The Mandalorian, which is obviously complete in the US, and we're having to watch it with weekly drops of the episodes.
I just want them to release Onward.
Okay, can I just point something out very strange?
Yeah.
I've managed to watch Mandalorian the entire first season, and you guys in the UK don't have the complete thing yet.
We could very much watch it through non-legitimate ways. Although, to be honest, the UK and the internet service providers over here do keep trying to ruin any opportunity of you streaming or downloading.
That because
Yeah.
So not very. They're not very effective at that, I must say.
If you know where you're going, you can get around stuff. That's for sure.
So
But
Geeky stream anything illegally because basically the actors won't get royalties for that. So that's why. So
Yeah.
we
That
watch
makes
everything
enough sense, I guess.
legitimately.
yeah, since at the early part of all the productions, obviously the producers and that make all the money, so the actors come last, unless it's a big
Well, you
film.
still get paid. Like you get paid for your time, but then you get paid royalties.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't want them not to have royalties.
But then, sorry, I don't want to get into a discussion about piracy, but what if you watch something and then it's just utter garbage? Then you've paid for something that was terrible, and if the actors were terrible, they're getting royalties for being terrible.
And it's not like really you can ask for a refund on that.
Well, if you're watching something on like television, you're paying for it via your license fee.
Yeah.
Or if you're paying for like a Netflix
Yeah.
subscription or a Disney Plus subscription, you're paying for your subscription. So all of that contributes to the payments towards
The royalties.
these
Yeah,
like
exactly.
royalties.
I'm not
Look,
saying,
I get that, but it's not like you can go to your TV licensing and be like, hey, I demand my money back. The actors were shit on this movie.
No, you're paying for the right to watch television.
But yeah, there's other
Yeah.
things
I'm
that
not.
are good.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
I mean,
I don't
that,
even watch
that's,
television.
I
So.
mean, that's a good point. It's not like because we sign up to the streaming services instead of paying for individual films or movies, then yeah, we get the bargain of, well, if it's shit, we won't watch it, or just stop watching it, and it's not like we lose out because we have access to the whole service. You're right.
Interested in watching Tiger King on Netflix, but that doesn't mean I'm canceling my Netflix subscription.
What? Why not?
Why would anybody? I don't understand the obsession with Tiger King. I'm just gonna put that out there. But basically, like, there are plenty of other things on Netflix I will watch. And then when you watch it, it contributes to rate. It's just like TV; it contributes to ratings, and then
Yeah.
that like goes into some.
So,
But you also get to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down so that you can like trash
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So going back to the Disney Plus stuff, obviously we've got all the beautiful 90s TV shows, but we've also been watching, we've watched all 3 of the Descendants movies.
And High School Musical, the series, which is
Oh
terrible.
Jesus!
It
I can
is,
imagine.
though, one hell of a mouthful of a title for a show.
High School Musical, the series. It's a terrible show.
High
But
School the musical.
The musical.
I
High School
can't even
Musical,
say it.
the
High
musical.
School Musical, the series.
Basically,
it's one of these shows that is so bad that it's awesome.
Yeah, that's definitely the way of putting it. It's based in the school where they filmed High School the Musical.
It's just called High School Musical.
Now everyone's going High School the musical instead of High School Musical.
Yeah. And the basic gist is one of the teachers who's just come to the school decides that she really wants to put on High School Musical as a musical, and the TV series that you're watching is framed to be more like a documentary of this teacher putting on the musical.
But it's a fake documentary. It's really obviously a fake documentary.
It is completely a fake documentary. So it's an interesting concept. But yeah, it's so bad it's good is definitely the way of putting it. It does fall into that category.
It's so terrible, but I just want to keep watching it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. What else? Also, Disney Plus also has all of the Disney Channel original movies, and while I haven't been watching them during the lockdown so far, I would highly recommend Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
I remember that.
And
yeah,
Xenon, the sequel, and
The sequel.
Xenon Z3. Although Xenon the sequel, I think, is probably the best.
Xenon the sequel.
That rare occasion where a sequel is better than the original?
It's a sequel.
Okay. Is that what makes it so special?
I just remember.
Of course.
Okay. The that film, all the girls wear like mini skirts with leggings, and then I watched this in middle school. This is I'm showing my age, but I watched this in middle school, and all the girls in my middle school wore neon leggings and mini skirts to school. And now leggings are, regular fashion.
Yeah, apart from not with skirts anymore.
Oh, we could bring it back. Yeah. We could bring it back, guys.
Let's bring back some sensible fashions.
I'm pretty sure it was set in the future, but it was like it was talking about like 2020 at some point, or 2000. I don't remember now.
I mean, it at least
it wasn't that far in the future, and like they were in space. So
I mean, that just reminds me of the whole Back to the Future joy, right? At least we finally got the self-lacing shoes, just not easily available.
So as much as I like Disney generally, I don't have Disney Plus, but I would like to know out of interest if Song of the South is on there.
It's not. I've looked.
It's not.
That's a shame.
I've looked for it. They've completely erased that from their history.
Is banned.
I know it's banned, but
it's like Disney itself, right?
Yeah.
It's many not politically correct stuff that they've basically locked down.
To be fair, they did put Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier on Disney Plus, and
really?
Yeah. The thing is, I love talking about Song of the South because if you actually watch the movie and know what goes on in the movie, there's literally no sort of politically incorrect stuff in there.
It's
The-
the animations that are politically incorrect.
The main point that I like to make about it is all the black characters in the movie are like relatable and do kind, good things towards the kids, and all the white characters are kind of like a bit rich and uppity, and
Oh, yeah.
they all act like idiots. So
that
really,
side
the
of
black
it-
characters are the good characters in the movie.
that side of it is fine. Like the basically Disney was, for its time, at the time when it made the film, was not like aiming to be racist, but the problem is that the animations themselves are racist. So like the like live action part of the film is fine, but it's the like Brer Rabbit stuff that
Okay,
is-
like back
Yeah.
in the day, back in the day, stuff like that wasn't a problem because I'm gonna say
didn't-
this, and people can get mad at me if they want to, but today's people are a bunch of pussies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
don't think.
stop you right there with your pussy talk, because that's just hell to the nah.
Well,
Pussies
okay.
are powerful, so like your little sensitive dicks can.
Okay.
I just don't
Okay.
think things should be erased from history.
No,
No,
I
I
agree
mean-
with you there. We shouldn't erase the history, but we should learn from the mistakes of the past
although I will
and,
Exactly.
and work for a
Absolutely.
better future.
Definitely.
all films, including Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, which is super racist, and they've put a note on them saying like,
Oh yeah, they do. They have
The-
the thing saying that references in this are dated,
Yeah.
but it is here to preserve historical behaviors. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
I don't really
I can't hear Rachel at
Yeah.
all for some reason.
Same here.
RaeRae does keep cutting out.
I'm gonna just come closer to the microphone. Basically, like on Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier, which is also a super racist film. They've got like what's it called? Some sort of notification.
They're
a
basically
disclaimer. That's the
yeah.
word. They've got a disclaimer, and it says like this contains racist tropes. This is outdated. But we didn't want to erase it or whatever. So like they've got they do agree with that, but I don't. There must be other reasons why Song of the South isn't on there. I think it was banned a very long time ago, and there's
Probably.
probably some legal thing.
Or double standards.
I haven't seen the Davy Crockett thing. I don't think Davy Crockett is like was as big over here as it was in the States. So I'm kind of interested to see like what that is now.
Probably worth watching.
I mean, my brother.
I
watched
don't
it-
know.
When my brother was 3, he watched it every day.
Oh wow.
Everyone had that film that they wanted to watch like repeatedly as a child though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Toy Story.
Mine was Was it Toy Story?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute. Mine was Little Mermaid.
Mine was Aliens.
I
That's a
think
good
mine
call.
was. I think mine was the old Alvin and the Chipmunks before Alvin and the
Ah.
Chipmunks gone like live action.
I can't remember what mine was when I was really small. All I know is that when I was in my teens, I repeatedly watched Stand By Me like nonstop, just all the time.
I did that in my
Won't
teens
you
too, but not
stand
Stand By Me.
by
I watched
me?
Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl every day for a year.
Wow, every day.
Why every day? That's just
I-
like.
Well, I was
Cruise
kind
of the
of
Black
obsessed
Pearl
with
was a
Johnny
good movie,
Depp.
though.
But I know about that problem.
Yeah.
But
No, my brother watched Davy Crockett every day when he was 3,
Aw,
and
he's too little to know.
well, we were all too little to know because it was the 90s and we thought that we were past racism.
Yeah, we
Oh no.
I mean,
messed up
Oh
the
no.
world in the 90s, didn't we? How much us millennials had this like beautiful
All we really
wash.
learned was tokenism, guys. That's all we learned.
I do find it interesting though. You like had a series like Captain Planet in the 90s where they were like, you've got to save the planet, and like companies are evil if they try and exploit the Earth. And now you possibly wouldn't have a cartoon like that at all. Everyone would be like, no, it's too controversial. It's
I mean, they're
left.
trying to put out Captain Planet
our
as a
children
movie.
are going to get nightmares.
No, it actually went through and
Oh,
yes.
oh no.
Fern Gully. That's giving me nightmares.
Ferngully. Yeah, Ferngully is really good.
Fern
Yeah.
Gully. I was gonna say Fern Gully. I was gonna say we had Captain Planet and Fern Gully, and despite its also like colonialist ties, Pocahontas, and all three of them had like really environmental stuff, and I feel like I thought my parents might have been hippies, but they weren't. They were just regular people, guys.
I mean, yeah, because they were like, oh, we have to recycle and save the planet, and now everyone's like, no, climate change isn't real. It's my opinion.
My opinion, and my
It's like-
opinion is better than facts.
It's
Yeah,
like
I feel that
42 degrees
sums
outside,
up
and
a
they're like,
lot of it.
oh no, climate change isn't real.
It's absolutely real. You can't deny this anymore.
No, you can't.
Really can't. Like, there's one thing that this lockdown has done is really highlight the mass damage and pollution we've been producing. Because the moment places are shut down, we've got the ozone layer healing back up again. Animals and birds are coming back to places that they haven't been seen in a very long time.
You can see.
Most people.
Yeah, you can actually see the bottom of the canals in Venice.
That's wild.
Most people aren't looking at these news stories though. They're looking at their conspiracy theory news stories.
Yeah, like how 5G towers are definitely giving us all coronavirus.
Exactly.
Dumbass.
Down
Yeah,
with the 5G.
And I'm sure that these same people are the ones that are going round wearing rubber gloves and then just taking them off randomly and just dumping them wherever they are.
Oh, it's driving me mad seeing that.
Yeah.
But in Ireland, we have most of our coronavirus cases are in nursing homes, actually. And I'm like, how are all these old people getting the 5G coronavirus, guys? Explain.
I mean, the old people and getting viruses is a very fun event. I don't know if you saw the reports a few years back about various sexually transmitted diseases spreading around OAP homes.
That's one of my favorite stories because that really gives me hope for the future.
My nan had a boyfriend.
Yes. Yes.
Your nan was totally getting it, RaeRae.
My nan is 93, or is she 94 now? She might be 94.
I think she's 94 now.
She lives in a nursing home in Florida, and she had a boyfriend 2 years ago.
Good for her.
She dumped him, or maybe he died. I don't know.
I don't
Let's
know,
just
but I'm
say
pretty
that
sure
she
that-
dumped him.
She doesn't have a boyfriend now. That's all I know. I think
Let's move on.
She dumped him.
Yes. Let's
move on
not
before
ask about STDs
I'm
and
not gonna
in
ask.
terms of
But I
other
am.
people's
But
grandmas.
I am gonna plug her because she did like a talk radio thing, which was live streamed on Facebook, and she didn't know, and that was really funny because she was like looking around. She was just like looking around the room reading stuff while the other people were talking, which was really funny.
Yeah, I guess if I can find a link, I'll put that into the
Yeah.
description. Yeah.
Let's get RaeRae's nan to go viral.
Yeah, she's gonna be famous, guys. She's a veteran. She was a nurse in the, I want to say the Navy. She says it in the thing, so if I'm wrong, don't kill me. But she also like worked on, I don't know if it's a vaccine, but she worked on like curing, I think it was diphtheria during
Wow.
in the war in Korea. She's pretty badass, basically, is what I'm saying.
Fair play,
I
nan.
know.
You deserve to get your bit, nan. You really do.
Yeah, you definitely deserve that bit.
Get
okay,
that
so
bit.
Is there anything people are excited for coming out next month? So obviously a lot of stuff's been cancelled thanks to the virus, and the idea of going to the cinema to watch particular movies like Black Widow have been ruined. I think Disney just needs to drop it on Disney Plus and stop being hopeful that they can put it in the cinema later on.
They're gonna do it next year. They said it's like it's coming in 2021.
I didn't think they had released a date yet. I thought they were just basically going, we're going to try and push it back later in the year.
I thought they had
Because if
released
they push it back by a year, that ruins like every single plan that they've got with the Disney Plus TV series as well.
I don't know. I just saw somewhere that they were pushing everything back for a year.
Yeah, I think they should just drop it. It's done. It's gone through post production, so they should just release it.
I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm excited for coming out next month.
Yep.
The new bugs and fish in Animal Crossing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right, let me go get my whiskey.
For me, there are several games coming out. So at the end of actually this month, we've got Streets of Rage 4 finally being released. I cannot wait for that. However, I'm going to have to because I picked up a limited run copy of it. So I'll be waiting another 2 months. There's a game called Ninjala coming out on the Switch, which it's a 4v4 ninja game. But it's modern ninjas that are basically using like bubblegum weapons and other weird crap. It just looks weird and hilarious.
That sounds cute as hell, though.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome to play. Wonderful 101's getting its port to the Switch and I think the PlayStation and Xbox. But that's only for those who got it on Kickstarter. And the Xenoblade Chronicles remake is out next month as well, so that's going to be awesome. So yeah, those.
I don't know
what
any of that is, but it sounds nice.
It's a lot of time wasting.
Okay, next month. I don't know if that's happening now.
It should do.
It's already out on Disney Plus in America, but for some reason they won't put it out here, and I'm sad about that. And I'm really hoping. Because we missed it in cinemas because we didn't go opening weekend and then we were in lockdown.
Yeah. But it probably was because if we had gone with them, we probably would have just got COVID-19.
Yeah, no, I mean that's why.
It's not the free gift you really want when you go to a film.
Hey, look! I came home with a souvenir. Dead.
All right.
I can't think of anything that's
Jake,
coming
you got
out.
anything that you're looking forward to next month?
Yeah, there's only one thing I'm really looking forward to. I don't think there's anything next month though. But basically, Yakuza 7 is the big one for me.
Oh, nice.
Which is already released in Japan because they always release it in Japan and then about 2 years later it comes out here.
Yeah, those are the rules.
But yeah,
it's usually translation.
Translation, yeah. But it's going to be a cool one because they've apparently made it a bit inspired by Dragon Quest this time. Okay. So it's going to be more of a like traditional RPG experience, apparently, with like all new characters and stuff. So, and I'm a huge fan of Dragon Quest 8 as it is. So, interested to see like where that goes.
Yeah, no, that sounds like it's going to be really fun. I've got Dragon Quest 11, I think it is, on the Switch, which I need to sit down and start grinding through. But
yeah, they are pretty huge.
Yeah, the classics of RPGs.
Did I get that for you?
Yes, you did. That was my Christmas gift off you.
Yeah, I thought so. It sounded familiar.
Ellen, have you got anything that you're looking forward to?
There's a few things. So what's happened basically in the wrestling world is they've started doing their pay-per-views without crowds. They're doing all their tapings without crowds because they can't have crowds, obviously. But they literally just had WrestleMania 2 weeks ago now, and they had no crowds, and so they had to be very creative, and they did some cool stuff. So they've got WWE has Money in the Bank coming up in May, which they've completely changed. So instead of people climbing up ladders, they now have to climb up a building, essentially, I believe, to get the prize. But also AEW, which are my faves, they also are going ahead with a certain pay-per-view at the end of May, I believe it is. And I'm just not sure how that's going to work because they haven't had a pay-per-view yet without a crowd. So I'm very interested to see how they manage that. But I have a lot more faith in them than I do in WWE. Sorry about
That
it.
would be really interesting. How are they fighting though with needing to keep 2 meters apart?
Essentially, they've got different approaches. WWE are taping some things in advance and still taping certain things live. WWE have basically, not to cast aspersions, but they've managed to get themselves classified as essential workers in the state of Florida through some mysterious and nefarious methods, possibly.
Can I just say,
Bribing.
I dislike WWE because they stole the name WWE from the real WWE.
Oh, are you thinking about the WWF?
Yeah, that's what you're thinking about. Is the WWF,
Yeah, but weren't
the
they
World
once-
Wildlife Federation?
That was a court case that was settled a long time ago, Rachel, and you'll be happy to know that the pandas won.
I'm happy to know that the pandas won. Good. Okay, fine.
That's why it's called. So WWE are doing it really. It's really dodgy. Basically, they've been cast as essential workers, but they're working on a very limited staff, and they're taking really strict health precautions. So I'm sure everyone's safe and fine, and no
So
one's
are they
being
basically
forced to
just
work.
forcing all the wrestlers to self-isolate together?
Can I just ask, what does the
I'm not
E stand
sure.
for?
Entertainment.
So it's worldwide wrestling entertainment, correct?
Yes. World Wrestling Entertainment, actually, I believe.
What did the F stand for back when they?
Federation.
Federation.
Because it was
But,
a word.
They have very strict hygiene protocols, and basically they're only getting in the exact amount of people they need to come in and do the matches, and everyone's getting screened beforehand and getting, checked out to make sure that they're safe and everything's being cleaned between every match. And yeah, they're taking precautions, but it's still super dodgy. Whereas AEW essentially have taped weeks and weeks of programming in advance a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So they have most of their programming already filmed up until the end of May. But they still have announced that they're going ahead with their pay-per-view, which I'm like, how are you going to do that? That's what's really interesting to me. It's like, how are they going to pull it off? But
Surely
also,
they'd need to stagger it in some way.
I have no idea.
Because once they get to that May point, then surely they'd have run out, and then they'd have to really quickly film more.
Yeah,
They just show Celebrity Deathmatch.
I mean, that was a great show, actually. I totally forgot about Celebrity Deathmatch.
That was a great show. It was actually a fairly good fighting game as well.
Yeah, someone's been posting recently on Twitter loads of Celebrity Deathmatch Let's Plays of the PS1 game.
I didn't even know it was a game. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's right. Okay, so Ellen, when we're finally out of this lockdown, I will get a copy, and we can definitely have some games of it.
I would love to see like a stream of you playing the new the latest WWE game, because it's famously so bad and so glitchy that I would love to see you react to it.
You mean the 2K version? Oh god,
it's infamous.
If I get it cheap enough, I'll get it on the Switch where it's even worse.
Oh my
because
god.
they did that. And yeah, fine. I will happily play it for a bit just for the humor.
I mean, people say it's buggy. I think it's just running on the same engine as Octodad: The Deadliest Catch.
Oh, that was the most frustrating game ever.
Was that based on the TV show?
I legit broke 2 controllers because of Octodad.
Octodad is just an indie game, and I don't think it's based on a TV show.
I've even watched Let's Plays of that, and that's quite fun.
I know, the Deadliest Catch is a different thing.
Oh yeah, it's not based on that.
Yeah, it's just that the Deadliest Catch was a TV show that my stepdad watches.
Yes, it's a fishing.
It's It's
a
Octodad.
reality show about fishing, guys. It's a reality show about
It's
fishing.
not the. It's not
the
the
deadliest
deadliest.
catch.
Not the deadliest catch. The deadliest catch.
Exactly.
Dadliest.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I misheard.
But anyway, also just one last thing. One of my favorite bands, Catatonia, are going to be releasing a new album soon, so I'm very excited about that.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Ooh, I think it's this month. I can't seem to find that exact date of when it's being released. But the singles I've really enjoyed. I like they've got kind of a more mellow sound, but still heavy. Oh, I love them. I'm very excited.
Did they do that Mulder and Scully song?
Oh, I don't know. No,
Cat-
you're thinking of the other band, Catatonia. I'm thinking of the metal band, Catatonia.
Ah, okay. Right.
There was another
Yeah,
Catatonia.
Are they spelled with a K
well,
instead of
yeah.
a C?
Well, the one I like is spelled with a K. I don't know about the other one.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, the other one is spelled with a C, so they're a letter different.
Okay.
The one I'm
so
thinking of is a C, yeah.
I love it. That's how you perfectly work around licensing issues.
Exactly. I wish the
Almost like-
WWE had taken note of that when they went to war with the pandas.
Almost like Catherine with a C versus Catherine with a K, or Catherine with a Q. Catherine.
Quathrin.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. So there you go.
That sounds good fun. Jake, have you got anything? Did I ask?
Well, I already went, but I never
I did ask you.
said what I've been doing in the COVID-19 crisis.
Oh yeah, I
so,
didn't ask that. That's all right.
If you want me to say that now, then yeah.
Yeah, go on. What have you been doing?
So I've been trying to learn Reddit a little bit because I've heard it's really good for promoting stuff, and I just went on there and I was like, this is weird and terrible, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I've been trying to work that out. I just fear putting any of my videos into any of the groups just because I'm like, do I really want to start being trolled by these people?
Exactly, yeah. There is a lot of trolling going on. I think the main problem is that you post something and then people just look at the title and then assume that you either hate a game 100% or like a game 100%. So they just start typing furiously saying you're wrong. And then it's like, well, I actually address everything you say in the video if you actually watch it. So
You mean that people on the internet are irrational?
I think that's just people on the internet.
it seems to be especially with Reddit that they're like that.
Yeah, Reddit people are full of shit.
That's because they are anonymous. That's all that is.
Yeah,
Anonymous
probably.
Keyboard warriors. That's what's going to save us.
Maybe if I complain about it on the internet, I'll make a difference.
This Corona apocalypse, as I like to call it, has been the apocalypse for the millennial. I feel all of us with various social anxieties and loving to hide away with books or video games, and here we are in an apocalypse where we don't need to run around and be athletic. We're just being forced to hide away on computers and read and do other stuff.
Is this the wrong time to mention I've been exercising more than ever?
What?
I'm sorry, I'm a terrible nerd. I exercise. I'm sorry.
I've been trying
How
to exercise more
dare
with
you.
Ring Fit, but I never get up early enough, and then I have to log into work. So.
Fair.
Well, yeah. How many of you guys are still working?
Not me.
Yeah, I'm still working. I'm a support worker, so
Good for you.
There's no theater industry right now, so
You have to make
Oh.
a new one.
I'm not working. I'm trying.
The theater of the mind.
prior to this whole shitstorm, I used to work in the timber decking, so I'm not an essential worker, unfortunately. So I'm stuck at home.
I work in a cafe, so there you go.
Yeah. I mean, I
Essential enough.
think coffee is definitely an essential requirement, but I don't
That's
believe
just
it
us.
travels well on a motorbike for delivery.
Yeah. Transporting coffee on a motorbike. Jesus.
there's a craft beer shop near me that's run by my friend, and they do deliveries. They're still doing them. So That's
I mean,
all right.
I presume they come in like bottles or cans, though. They're not just in like takeaway cups.
yeah,
I'm
they're
just
in
picturing-
cans.
You know that like trope where you put the coffee on top of the car and then you drive?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm very that.
I mean, you could probably do
Very
it fairly
that.
well using drones. A drone could carry a full pack of coffees fairly easily.
Nathan, drones aren't the answer for everything.
They're
Of course it
always
is. What are you talking about? How dare you, Ellen? How
Yeah, I
dare
just
you?
don't- They're not.
We're being summoned.
I don't know if everybody can hear the cat chirping away.
It's chirping. Yeah, I got a little bit of it. That's so cute.
He's sitting upstairs in the echoiest place, just chirping.
So,
he's loud.
we've got like a spiral stairs that run up to our landing, and he now sits on the top of the banister and chirps into the high-rise ceiling that's part of it. So it echoes really nicely for him. And then when you go to see what he's up to, he just hangs his head over the edge and just stares at you.
It's
Yeah,
like
my
I
cats
wasn't
do
doing
the
anything.
same.
He wants to go outside, but it's nighttime now, so.
Yeah, well, he's still a bit young, and our area has a pack of 6 foxes that work together to hunt the adult cats.
Oh,
Sorry, there was a crash. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
that darn cat.
It really is.
Now on Disney Plus.
Are you ready for that darn cat? Because they are.
Well, the other thing I've been doing in lockdown is I've been hanging out with my dogs a lot, and 10 out of 10 can recommend pets.
Yeah.
Pets are the best.
Sounds about right.
They need to be adult pets because baby pets are hard.
Well, our Lily's about 6 months old, and she's entered her heat, to put it politely. But she's she's a brave little girl. She's doing well.
All I'm gonna say is, my kittens are the pickiest eaters. So we ran out of cat food, and then got our neighbor to get us some emergency cat food. And she didn't buy kitten food; she bought regular cat food. And the reason we were out is because our delivery was like, I get a monthly delivery, and it was delayed by 3 weeks. And so I know. I was like, but how is this a monthly delivery? It's like 2 months.
Corona seems to be fucking around with a lot of us, huh?
Anyway, then we got some kitten food, but they wouldn't eat it because it wasn't their regular food. And then
Oh no.
And then they would bite our feet because they were hungry. And I was like, there's food. Also, full disclosure, there's still kitten wet food that is their regular food, but they won't eat that because they don't like it. Then Geeky made chicken. He boiled chicken. He's a vegetarian. He boiled chicken for them, and they were like, "What is this shit?" And I was like, "This is chicken. This is human."
Yeah, we've got 3 cats that basically are only interested in dry kibble, and scrunch up at basically the smell of actual meat.
Anything good. And
because that's our. Because we've got like some cats that live outside and they only eat chicken.
Right, I know, that's what I'm saying. Then they chewed through all the bags of the food they won't eat.
Yep. So we can't even give the bags away now.
So we've just got a whole bunch of cat food.
It's a bit against the whole thing of giving it away. You don't want to give an open bag away, especially the ones that cats have bitten through. But anyways, that's just me.
The cats have been a nightmare.
So basically, they won't eat the food, but they will eat the bag.
So it's basically cats just being cats.
Yeah, they now have their regular food, so they will eat again. But it was a harrowing few days.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Cats do like to make things very awkward.
Oh, they do. They are. interesting creatures.
Well, dogs will eat
Okay.
everything, so that's fine for us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dogs
as
are
long as it's
easy.
fine for you guys, it'll be
So,
fine.
Retro said that he was learning how to deal with Reddit. Has anybody else been learning any new skills or technologies or social
I wouldn't,
medias?
I wouldn't say that I've learned any new skills per se. I've been just improving on the older ones, like as in my art skills and stuff like that, which I feel has been coming along pretty nicely.
I would
Um,
agree. Your art streams are something people really should go and watch.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, my streaming times are just not convenient for Americans and stuff like that.
Yeah. Ellen, you've been
Not in terms of like skills or anything. But like I said, I've been trying to get a bit fitter, because I've previously done a lot of work with weights and not enough cardio, so I'm really trying to work on that fitness that I can, not be completely gassed if I'm running about for a while. So that's kind of what I've been working on. It's not really a skill, it's more just like basic health that other people
It's
can
still
do
something
and I
good to
can't do.
focus on. I mean, this.
It's nice. It gets me outside for my 1 hour of allowed exercise, so that's great.
I mean, that's pretty important. For me, I have made my first ever loaf of bread.
It
That
was
was quite
delicious,
good.
by the way. It was very nice.
Yeah. And
Did you use that recipe that I sent you?
I ended up not using that one just yet. I didn't do the slow cooker one. I picked up some bread yeast and I just followed the instruction on the back of the packet there.
And then you picked up yeast and I bought yeast.
Yes. So I've now got enough yeast to make quite a lot of loaves of bread.
But not enough flour. So
No, we're gonna have to get more
Oh
flour.
no.
I also
Over
made,
here, people don't have like enough flour at all because flour is running out because everyone's baking at home.
Yeah.
But also, do you know the other reason for that? Because suppliers normally supply to business and they can't like rebrand and repackage to supply to the shops. So that's really the only reason we're out. Because
Oh well, over here it's literally because oddlums are like we can't pack it fast enough.
Yeah.
Well, eggs are definitely on a shortage as well.
Yeah.
It's because everybody is baking, but also people are baking because they would maybe normally they might be the people who normally would eat out all the time. Like they would go to work and then have their pret and then
Yeah.
It's those people they can't do that, so they're now baking their own food.
Yeah.
But are you planning on baking other things?
Well, I made short crust pastry for a
Holy crap!
mince and onion
Pastry's
pie.
hard.
A vegetarian mince and onion pie.
Yeah, it was a great pie. I am gonna bake a cake.
Are you?
Yeah.
You've been saying that you're going to bake a cake since my birthday back in November, and you didn't even make me a birthday cake. So.
Oh shit! Shit's about to go down.
I did make a birthday cake.
Okay.
Maybe I bought a birthday cake.
You brought a birthday cake. Actually, you got somebody else to buy a birthday cake.
That's true. I got somebody else to buy a birthday cake.
Yeah, I'm going to try some other more exotic baking at some point soon.
I did buy icing, so I am going to make a cake.
Good.
Unless I eat the icing out of the tub myself.
I mean, I've got a bunch of apples
that
I
would be me.
Need to use up, so I'm probably going to make some kind of like apple pie at some point soon.
Side note, we bought this thing called Geeky dough. Oh, it was so delicious.
Are you trying to sell a cookie dough company on the podcast?
No.
Sponsored by Cookie Dough.
This episode of the podcast was not sponsored by Cookie Dough.
I mean, I would love to be sponsored by them because I won't deny. Like, I don't really.
Cookie dough. It was really nice.
I don't like to just sit and eat cookie dough. I prefer to turn them into cookies, which you can do with their stuff. So that's something. But yeah, basically, RaeRae blew quite a lot of money on ordering
super
in.
expensive, guys. I wouldn't recommend doing it all the time, but it was delicious. It was definitely worth it.
What was it? You got a red velvet cookie dough
Yeah.
The chocolate chip
Funfetti.
and funfetti. Yeah. So basically, birthday cake cookie dough.
Yeah, oh, so nice. The funfetti one's not vegan though. I'm not sure why.
The red velvet isn't either.
Yeah.
It was only the chocolate chip one.
Yeah. Okay.
One
well,
thing that coming back to the topic of what we are looking forward to coming out. Initially, Little Nightmares 2 would have come out on the month of April. And now it's just saying 2020. So I'm hoping that Little Nightmares 2 is going to come out anytime in the next 2 months. Because it's a game that I've been looking forward to since I finished the first one the first time.
I need to play the first one.
I'm just gonna say this to you before you get disappointed by it. It's rather short, but the puzzles and the interaction, it's pretty good actually.
Yeah, I'm aware it's short, so I've been waiting for it to go on sale, but I'm a fan of getting the physical copies of games where I can, because then
Yeah.
if it's not a game I'm going to go back to, at least I can trade that back in, and yeah. So
one thing I'm wanting to play is Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, I've been actually looking. I was wanting to get into the Ori and the
Blind Forest.
Yeah, the whole series of Ori.
Yeah, it's amazing. Really good.
I've got Blind Forest is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got that one. That came out on the Switch a couple of months back, so I picked that up. Need to sit down and actually play through that as well. That is planned to be part of a live stream at some point when I actually decide on when my regular day of live streaming will be.
Yeah, I've just come to the point in my life where I'm like, you know what, stuff schedules. People can just join when I'm live.
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be sensible.
Yeah, it's not good to stress out too much over schedules, I don't think.
I was trying to stick to schedules for the YouTube channel last year, and I've got to admit, when I was getting a weekly video out, it was doing great for pulling in subs and boosting my views, but I just couldn't keep it up. So it got to late November. We got out the 100th video, and I basically just had a bit of a crash, and it's been huge gaps between videos and all randomness at the moment. I'm slowly working back to a fortnightly schedule to some extent. But
a crash is bound to happen if you set such a rigid schedule, I think.
Yeah.
Especially with smaller channels that obviously don't get as much recognition as maybe they deserve.
Yeah, it would be nice to have YouTube maybe create a separate section where we can exist and then also be easily discoverable.
Mm-hmm.
It's also not easy when your wife has a very weird schedule.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, before Christmas is insane.
Yeah. I mean, Ellen was in one. So I direct as well as act. So I was in November. I was in 2 plays and directing a 3rd play and preparing for pantomime, because pantomime season is the biggest thing for actors. So
yeah, you didn't exist basically for that period of time. I mean, that was great. I got a lot done. Although at that point I was working on a really crap machine, so it was good for the time. I was working on a Surface Pro 2, but it just can't do diddly squat for video editing. I have now upgraded to a Lenovo Y740, and the beast of a machine just has completely changed what I can do. But since we're in lockdown, I don't have free time after work per se, so it's a new problem.
Of course.
Because we're hanging out. Because we finally get to hang out.
Yeah, because I don't have a job.
Because you don't have a job.
You actually get to spend quality time with your spouse.
Although
I call it
sometimes it
quality.
feels like
I
you
don't
guys
think
want to
she
murder
does.
each other.
And
She's just on Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
We had outside time today with the kittens, but now they just want to go back outside.
They've got the bug.
We took them
The
into the
outdoor
garden.
bug.
They didn't catch any bugs. I'm gonna be honest, Ellen. They.
No, I mean like the metaphorical bug.
No, I know. I
The
was
medicine bug.
I was just making a joke off of your joke. It was fine.
It's too dry. Too dry. I couldn't catch it.
I
I'm going to
prefer
bring
my
us on
jokes a bit more
to-
moist.
Sorry. I'm going to bring us on to then the final topic of the podcast after so many tangents. So two really big games from the 90s got remade and released this year. Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy 7, which a lot of people are playing. Now I know Ellen and Rachel, Ellen and RaeRae, you don't game, so
I feel like everyone should go purchase the new Settlers game when that comes out. Not that I'm
I
affiliated with
support
that in any way.
This is a great game. No,
Not that you're affiliated with that game in any way. Right.
Not that I'm affiliated with it in any way, in any official capacity. I can't say anything.
Oh yeah, you did give me some intel on that one. Yes,
You know
no,
nothing.
people should buy that for no reason whatsoever, apart from it's a good.
God.
Nice.
There's
I
stuff
mean, I
that
do
can't be
have all
said.
the others. So.
Why would you just spit out?
I will. Anyway, moving on
Is
to
Settlers? Sorry, is Settlers coming out physically?
I believe so.
Then I'll
But I-
probably be getting it.
But I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know.
Ah.
Okay, so yeah, going back to Resident Evil 3 and Final Fantasy 7. So one of my, I haven't bought either of them yet.
Same.
But with Final Fantasy 7,
I haven't bought either of them. Are you feeling okay? I'm just checking your temperature. Do you have COVID?
I have COVID. Yeah. That's why I haven't bought
Oh
them.
no.
No, for Final Fantasy 7, my reservation and why I've held off is because it's not the entirety of Final Fantasy 7 remade. It's just basically disc 1 of the original game.
Yeah.
Which I'm just like, I don't want to spend the money unless I can have the whole experience in one go.
Not even disc 1. It's like not even a fifth of the story.
Yeah. I mean, they've expanded a lot of stuff, so I've been watching and paying attention to it, and there's a lot of cool things in there that I'm glad they've expanded. But yeah, they shouldn't really be calling it Final Fantasy 7 Remake. They should be calling it Final Fantasy 7 Part 1.
Yeah, I mean, I played the original Final Fantasy VII, and from what I've heard from the remake, I feel to myself like this, and why would I want to buy the remake if it's going to be like in two parts, where the original was one full game where they did not rip you off?
Yeah. Well, I think actually it might be 3 parts from what I'm hearing.
Oh god.
It's going to be at least 3 parts because, as I say, it's the story that they've told so far is literally not even a fifth of the entire game.
So
The
what?
gaming
It's up to
industry
the
is-
point where you escape Midgard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My god. The gaming
So-
industry is milking the players for what it's worth, it seems.
Yeah. So I like to tell the story of one of the Square Enix producers who, when people were begging for a Final Fantasy VII remake, which I've never wanted, by the way, said we couldn't do it because current gen couldn't handle a world map. Like, he said it'd literally be impossible.
Really?
And then a few months later, Ni no Kuni came out, and it has an amazing world map. So Square Enix are just complete bullshitters. I don't trust them with anything anymore. And yeah, from like all the reviews I've watched, they don't say anything negative about the game. It's almost as if people have been paid off to just shill for Final Fantasy.
So either they've been paid off or they they brought in like special favors or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or perhaps the nostalgia goggles are just completely stopping them from seeing the reality.
Most
Yeah,
likely.
fanboys are definitely another explanation. Definitely.
Okay, and Resident Evil 3. So they've cut a fair bit out of that, haven't they? So
Geeks, let me just stop you right there. I'm gonna say fair, but it's a bit of an underestimate. It's like at least another, I want to say 3 to 4 hours of gameplay they cut out there.
Jesus.
yeah. I mean, I was assuming it must be quite big because one of my friends was doing the 2-hour run of of Resident Evil 3, and I'm like, you can do it in 2 hours? Well, or in under 2 hours? That's just ridiculous. This is a 6-hour game, right? Or at least it was.
It was. The original was a 6-hour
Yeah.
game.
Resident Evil 3 is a game that when I was a kid I used to play like 3 times in a day. Like it's quite short, but it's not that short. You know, I was so obsessed with it, I would just go over it over and over again.
Oh, it was a great game, and
yeah.
each replay was obviously how many times can I actually defeat Nemesis this time through, and still complete the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nemesis
So
was a pain in the ass in
hear-
the original.
So for me to hear that they'd cut out sections like the clock tower, for instance, that is just inexcusable for me because
Yeah.
they basically, I thought Resi 3 came out very quickly.
Yeah, I felt that with how soon we had Resident Evil 2. And now the talks of Resident Evil 4 as a remake, and I'm going, that's not the game we want remade. Resident Evil 4 is actually perfect as it is. However, the Switch port really needs to add in motion controls because that should just be there. It was on the Wii. It just makes sense. It works. It's great. The game I would like from the Resident Evil series to be the next remake would be Code Veronica.
Oh yes, Code Veronica. Or the first Revelations.
Yeah, I mean,
Resident
Does
Evil
that need remaking?
Wii U games, so they're not that old.
I know they're not that old, but I think honestly, with the assets that they had when Revelations was released, I believe they could have done better with the first Revelation.
Oh yeah, I mean they really could have. I don't really know why it looked like that on the Wii U, right?
I mean, on the computer even, it looks terrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna say Dino Crisis definitely needs remaking before Revelations.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Chronic Spartan, I don't know if you guys follow him. He's just done a video on the Dino Crisis should be the next one remade. He
I actually saw his tweet on that
video.
Yeah, I retweeted it.
Yeah, nice. I completely agree. That would be a great game to be remastered.
There was another game. I'm sorry, I went so quiet. I'm just trying to think. There was another game that was similar to Resident Evil. Where you have these like weird creatures that you fight.
Silent
it was on the
Hill?
PS1. No, it wasn't Silent Hill. It was Silent Hill 1 should get a remake, I think, and number 2.
Yeah. By Capcom.
Yeah. Or maybe that's actually a difficult one. I think either BioWare or Bandai Namco should actually do the remake.
In an ideal world.
Yeah.
In an ideal world.
Which remake are you talking about? The Bandai Namco should do?
It was. Flip, what did I say now?
Is this the game you're trying to think of?
Silent Hill 1 and 2 should be done by Bandai Namco.
Ah, okay, sure.
Because Bandai,
job of it.
Bandai Namco actually did Dark Souls 3 and pure masterpiece. That so I believe if they can make Silent Hill with less of the ragey parts, Silent Hill remake would be perfect.
Surely From Software did Dark Souls 3.
Yes, From Software was part of it, but I think it was Bandai that was part of it as well. Or Bandai could have been the publisher.
Yeah, they're a publisher.
Yeah. Well,
But,
while
yeah.
we're talking about remakes, that would be awesome. I would love to see the South Park game from the N64 remade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have it on
That
PS1.
was
It's
just
amazing.
hilarious time.
I love that game.
Right. But let's admit the facts. What would the odds be of that being remade?
South Park.
0%.
Trey and Matt, they said that game was absolutely horrible and they regret making it.
Yep.
I would disagree with them there, but
I would as well. I think it was a great game, but
It was a great game.
How many games are you talking about?
quite a lot of video
About
games.
5
Lots of
or-
video games, right?
I know,
They've gone
but
off on
I know
one,
you
Ray,
said
right?
that
They've
you
gone
said
off on
I
one.
can see. What?
Yeah, we've
What
gone
else?
rogue.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we did go off topic. So let's reel
All
it
these
back
guys
in.
do, all these men do is natter.
so I want to ask something about Resi 3.
Yeah.
Have you guys played it, yeah?
No,
No,
well,
I
I played the
haven't.
original, not the remake.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah,
The
of course.
yeah.
I was just wondering, do you guys know in the remake whether they completely scrapped the choices where you could go to different routes, or did they re-implement that in some way?
No.
They just didn't do it, basically.
I think it's a linear game.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That makes me so sad.
No, they didn't. do it either, and I would have been right, apparently. All I'm going to say is, Geeky, you said to me there are actually a lot of video games, and that was pretty patronizing, considering that I have a shelf over there full of all of your video games. Oh, wait, maybe it's over there. Anyway, I don't know where it is anymore, but I've seen
I don't know what
them.
they look like.
I know what they look like. I can see that there's a lot of them.
Yeah, my collection's big, but it's not compared to a lot of people. So
That's because I want us to save money.
If you're interested, I just passed 900.
Oh wow, that is impressive.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear any of that.
No, I didn't.
Me neither.
So do you own your...
Oh, I cannot hear that at all. Rachel, you need to come closer or
What's
something.
happening to me?
come closer to the mic?
Well,
I mean,
no, because
Ray.
Nathan's in the way.
Can you hear me?
Yeah?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. No,
Yes,
you can hear you.
now we can.
Okay. So basically, all I said was, do you also own your own home?
No.
So
Who owns a home anymore?
Yeah, that's not a millennial dream.
Can't afford
that's
that, bloody
the
hell.
thing. That's
I
why
mean-
that's why Geeky doesn't buy video games. So please, people, subscribe to him so that he can earn money so that he can pay for more video games.
Also,
The thing is, though,
A
I
mortgage.
don't buy.
All of us, Rachel.
The thing is, I don't buy new games. I only buy old games, and I try and get the best deals. So
You
I'm
can
very
learn a
tight.
lot
there's
I don't
probably a lot
buy
of
from Jake.
value in
I
that
don't
as well.
buy as many retro games though. I'm planning on, but I haven't started that.
This is the thing.
Beyond buying
Geeky-
Tony Hawk's 1, 2, and 3.
Geeky reviews a lot of new games, so he has to buy the new ones, and they're expensive. And so basically, I say, hey, we need to put some money in the savings account this month so that we can buy a house. And that's basically the problem. The constant
Yes.
battle.
We're never gonna have enough for a house anyway. We can't save faster than the market increasing, so
Maybe the market will crash.
that's not good for anybody.
What are you expecting here, Rach? Like a Wall Street, 2008 Wall Street all over again?
Yes.
Oh, God. I got the year right?
It's already
I'm-
happened.
I think so. I think it was right when I went to university. That's when everything went to shit. Like the
Yeah.
future died as I left school, which is great.
The
Holy
future
shit!
died as I
I
left
didn't even start
university.
high school in 2008. I feel like a baby here.
Are you
Guys,
are you the
all I'm
baby?
gonna say is I graduated in 2009, right into the recession.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun.
I
Fun
graduated
times.
from high school in 2014. To put it like that.
Oh, you are a baby.
Oh, so young.
Maybe he's not a millennial. Maybe he's actually Gen Z.
Oh, is he a Zenio? Oh,
Frosty,
I
are
don't
you
know.
a Zennial?
95.
Yeah,
maybe.
you're a Zennial.
Border. Oh.
What we in South Africa call that born free. So I'd rather prefer that.
Born free. I like that.
All I'm gonna say is it's your generation that's the problem.
I mean,
wait.
I
Say
mean,
that again. My
technically that
generation.
is the same generation as the Tide Pod eating. So
Well, I'm not a part of those. I'm an old soul.
And did
Yeah, I
you
thought it was
also-
the older generation that was the problem right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The younger one has been licking toilet seats.
The younger one is out there protesting climate change. I'm with the young kid. I'm down with the kids. I'm here for the kids. I think they're great.
to be honest, millennials are better partnering up with Zennials and whatever the next generation will be named.
Okay, you know.
But it's also very key to pay heed here that the concept of generations are vastly different in each culture. So for America and the UK, we tend to hold an island. We tend to hold quite well with having the same generational experience. So our generations make sense. But the rest of the world doesn't quite fall into that same category.
I'm gonna say
That's true.
I can forgive you, and we can go after the boomers instead. It's fine.
Yeah, let's get the boomers.
Only the bad ones.
Well, yeah. I mean, not my mom.
Yeah, you guys leave Mama Frosty out of this.
No, I have heavy criticisms of my mum, telling me that if I work hard, everything will be all right. I've been working
what a
hard my
myth.
whole life.
Well,
And,
I haven't stopped working, and it's still a problem.
Exactly, I'm still skin, and I am still working in a job that I don't really want to work in.
Should we bring this back to the actual final topic that I forgot to talk about, and that is the new consoles that we've had revealed. And
Oh, I googled this so I could talk about it.
All right.
well, hey,
Can I
And
start
I'm
off with my first opinion?
Because you were complaining about what it looked like. Is it PlayStation
well,
5?
the PlayStation 5 controller is just a interesting design.
Okay, all I'm saying is I can see what everybody says it looks like now, but my first thought was that it looks like a droid.
It looks like Wally.
No, it
Yeah,
looks more like a knockoff version of R2D2.
I don't really care what it
Yeah.
looks like. I just think it looks very unergonomic. Like,
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things that I like, ignoring the color design, the D-pad being 4 individual buttons, that was terrible on the Switch, is gonna be terrible on the PS5. I don't know why they decided to do that.
Is it too? It's fine.
You've not used it as like if you're playing a decent fighting game, you don't want it to be buttons.
Yeah, trust
I
me.
mean, the PS 1, 2, and I believe 3 controller, they're all separate buttons, but they're kind of underneath, they're all the same, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can actually feel them rolling into each other. I'm not sure if that's the same on the PS4 controller, which I hate, by the way.
Look, as an Xbox Xbox guy, I used to have an Xbox 360. I appreciated the D-pad that was all like one button, like rotational button. Like the diagonal buttons were connected to the up, down, left, and right, which made it much easier in fighting games, in Red Dead Redemption even, where you had your D-pad interactions that you can actually press diagonal buttons easier than you would have been able to do on a PS4. But the design of the PS5 controller, in my opinion, PlayStation, as a big name in gaming, has tried too hard to go for a futuristic look. And I think that is where it's going to be kind of their downfall. People are going to think, look, PlayStation's trying too hard, and we're not impressed with the results. That is my prediction.
I think for like interesting designs for like game releases, it does have the potential to have some really cool designs done to it.
Mm-hmm.
The tech inside it as well, you know, you've got the built-in microphone and all of that, but looking at the actual microphone tech, one of the first things that I've noticed with that is it's going to pick up every sound in the room. So like you put a can down, it's going to pick that up. It's going to pick up the button presses really easily. It's not going to be pleasant for people to hear.
Yeah, it's going to be like turn off Xbox over again. Like when people were saying turn off Xbox over stream.
Just it kind of like as a not gamey person, I would imagine the controller is quite noisy if the microphone is right there. So what were they thinking?
They were thinking about solving one of the problems, which is not a lot of people want to pay a lot of money for the expensive headsets. So they tried to offer the expensive tech to make it a little easier for them. But it's not the best place for the microphone to do that.
I mean, that'd be really annoying. So I find that sound annoying just sitting in the same room as somebody, even while I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, would you guys want to see a PS5 guy streaming on his PS5 and you hear this all the time?
No.
No, exactly.
ASMR gaming.
Oh my god, no. Bad, Ellen. Bad.
I just love ASMR, you guys. It's great.
Guys, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
ASMR
I can't
is like
remember.
a audio fetish for some guys. Like when
It's
you
not
like,
a fetish. It's like if you're very sensitive to like certain sounds, like they can be relaxing or they can be stimulating for you. And there's
Or
like a whole
arousing.
genre. There can be arousing ones. It's a whole genre on YouTube.
And Pornhub.
Oh, I see. But also sometimes people hate sound. I hate sounds.
You hate a lot of sounds.
I hate like every sound.
Including me breathing, so
I hate like every sound. I don't know why.
Yeah. So one of the first comments I heard about this controller, which made me laugh, is it looks like the controller's wearing a crop top.
Looking at the picture, yes, it does actually look like that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a weird crop top, right? Because then it's got like weird dangly bits. It's like a crop top with like fringe.
Yeah, it's like a crop top from River Island.
I mean, you can you can find patterns in anything like that, can't you? Really, like I'm sure you could look at any picture of any controller and eventually find something that you could overlay.
Oh, that is lovely.
Actually, I can see that if you just look at the black outline. Yeah, it could look like Tolero with really thin ears and really big eyes.
You could make it into like a sad baby Yoda.
Yeah.
That does sound pretty sad.
Some of the custom designs, the Spider-Man design, I really like for it.
I can't unsee Totoro now.
I mean, going back to ergonomics, like, what do you guys think of the concave sticks?
That is going to be death on your thumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is for me, anyway. Like,
definitely going to end up having to get thumb grips for it.
Oh, yeah. I've got thumb grips for PS4 controller because I was so pissed off when they did the concave sticks for PS4. But the reason I was pissed off was because there was an interview with one of the developers of the PS4 who said, we want to appeal to the first-person shooter crowd. And I'm just like, so you want to appeal to a small minority of people on the PS4, so you're going to change the controller completely to appeal to them at the
Does it actually
detriment
appeal
of
to
everyone
them?
else.
Like, does that really give extra grip at all for the first person shooters?
I feel like it slips around. Like when you put your thumb in, it slips within the concave.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing there. That's exactly how I feel. My favorite controller designs at the moment, the Switch Pro controller, is like those sticks are just perfect. And I have to say, I think Google did a good job with the Stadia controller as well.
The
They're
Stadia
both
controller
really
does look pretty
comfortable to
comfy.
use. So Jake, what was that?
No, that was me. I was saying
it
it
was-
looks pretty comfy.
It was Frosty.
Oh, it's Frosty. Okay.
The Stadia controller.
Yeah, the Google Stadia controller. That's a really nice one as well
Yeah.
to play.
I don't feel like I have enough experience with controllers. I like your Pro controller.
Yes, you've used that, and you've used the what is it? The Power A one as well.
And I'm good with the Switch when it's in like when you like handheld mode, but you take the controllers off.
Oh, you mean the tabletop or dock mode with the Joy-Cons off?
Yeah. I know what you're saying now.
The Joy-Cons are probably the smartest thing Nintendo has designed, because there is nothing like being able to lie down on your sofa and play an intense video game
Yeah.
without having the awkwardness of holding an actual controller.
But the thing is, the Switch itself in handheld mode, like it hurts my hands to play
Yeah.
after a while. So
yeah,
I
it's
do
because they
prefer-
don't have a curvature that
Yeah.
snugly fits
But
the
I'm
hands.
looking-
It's so flat.
But I'm looking at this and it looks also kind of flat. So I would be concerned about like the grip.
That's my main criticism of this PS5 controller. Yeah, it just looks
Yeah.
too square and blocky to me.
Yeah.
Like my favorite controller is the GameCube controller, because
That's a good one.
it's so curvy. Like every single part of it just curves around your hands and fits it perfectly.
I think the button design on that also was really genius. Like the A button, which you press a lot, is nice and big. The B button, which you're not going to press as much, is a lot smaller. The way that they placed in the X and Y buttons to make it easy to roll off the A, it meant that playing the games on the GameCube, your thumb was just easily able to navigate to the right buttons without any extra effort, really.
Definitely.
I think it was a very smart design, and it's pretty much why I still use it for Smash.
So I can't really speak out of experience since I haven't played any Nintendo games since the Wii, the original Wii. Smash Brothers on that was okay, but yeah.
Yeah, the Wii was an interesting design.
Playing Smash Brothers on the Wii controller was horrendous.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have to use a nunchuck at the least for that, but still.
I bought you a Wii too.
You did?
And a Wii U.
No, you didn't buy the Wii U. I got that as a phone gift.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you could have been saving for a house, RaeRae.
But not with this person. Like he needs the game stuff.
I do. I cannot live without video games. If there were no video games, I wouldn't be alive.
Probably. I mean,
Really deep.
I didn't hear any of that.
Same here. All I heard was Geeky laughing.
I said no, don't make it so deep and existential.
It's
I
too
mean,
late.
without video games, though, Ray, you wouldn't have your Animal Crossing.
No, I'm not criticizing video games.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
I'm not criticizing them. I just think they're all very expensive, and maybe they should be cheaper.
Well, interestingly, the price of video games, so the maximum, the 60 quid video games, that's the price that's been held in place since the 90s.
All the games that Geeky buys are the expensive ones.
Because I'm on Nintendo, and all of Nintendo's games are expensive.
For the sake of my house, please lower your prices.
The thing is, Nintendo's one of the few companies whose game prices hold their price for a very long time.
Just making jokes, it's fine.
It's a good investment, really.
There's gonna be such a row when this is over.
Anywho.
I'm fine. I might get told off that she didn't get to sell her stuff in the shop, but
My stuff?
on Animal Crossing, because it's after 10.
He's already in trouble because this lasted way too long and the shop on Animal Crossing is closed.
We need an intervention.
No, you need to get Animal Crossing. If you understood, if you knew, you would understand.
I am so put off it now, seeing how addicted you are.
More addictive than anything else on the planet.
It's like crack.
The island, you have to see my island. It's so good.
She has been cultivating the perfectly designed island.
We've got a mountain and a carnival boardwalk and a farm
I mean,
and a cobblestone town,
I'm
like
sorry.
a Boston
I'm
seaside town.
I'm still not convinced to get Animal Crossing. I'm sorry. I have to put it out myself.
if I'm gonna sink my life into a game, I want it to be like one of those role play games where you're like, oh, I'm in a completely different world, but I don't want to be a cute little animal. I want to kill people.
You're a person.
You're a person, and all of the people that you interact with are not people, they're animals.
Yeah, but you don't understand. I want to kill people.
I understand that. So,
Yeah, you can't kill people in Animal Crossing. It's family friendly.
the games that I would highly recommend on that note, Ellen, especially with you enjoying D&D,
Yeah.
is Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay. I've heard of them.
Yes, and with Baldur's Gate, if you play those games, you'll get to know some of the characters that we're going to meet when we go to doing the Avernus campaign later on in the year.
D&D too.
Yeah, but you don't like to point and click and fight in a video game.
You're generally the nice character who uses magic.
You should have seen me in the new campaign because I'm a centaur fighter who kills everyone.
Aw, I'm so proud of you.
This is so I've just started a homebrew campaign, and I've been very generous on what people can create. Possibly too generous, but I don't really care. And RaeRae is playing a centaur fighter, and their group, while transporting some cargo between two towns, got raided by goblins, and very quickly the centaur zoomed in, sliced up one goblin, and booked the other goblin quite the distance through the forest.
That's my girl.
I know.
And I was just like, I guess I didn't make this encounter hard enough.
He wasn't used to me playing that kind of character. Normally, Ellen's right. Normally, I'm the magic user who stands
You're
back.
who solves things with reason and logic, whereas I'm I'm gonna kill it.
Those are usually my favorite ones to play, the ones that solve things with reason and logic. But I wanted to try something new. That's the new thing I've tried during lockdown.
That's true. You've become a murder hobo. Well done.
Okay, so if I was going to play those games that you recommended, the Baldur's Gate and other thingy,
Neverwinter Nights. Yeah.
Neverwinter Nights, well remembered. Is that on Switch, or do I have to get a whole other thing?
They are on Switch, but they're also on PC.
Oh, I don't have.
Pick them up on Steam, fairly cheap.
I have a Mac. Do they work on Mac?
I don't know.
They probably don't.
Yeah, you'd have to probably run a program within your Mac that sort of runs older Windows programs. Yeah.
Geeky, I'm gonna have to go and feed the cats because he's eating.
Yeah, I think actually we're gonna. I think this is probably a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. I'm just gonna go feed the cats.
Okay.
Even if you had the PC version of Neverwinter Nights, you'd have to run a virtual console anyway to install it because it's so old.
So
Oh, it's also complicated.
Jake, they re-released Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gate recently.
Oh, HD versions.
Well, they haven't actually done anything more than just make them run on the new machines.
Ah, okay.
So
Well, I guess BioWare did they like just update Neverwinter Nights basically so that it runs on newer consoles, on newer PCs.
Neverwinter Nights 2, they've made sure that the online is fully fixed and improved, so you can actually now go in there with a massive party and just go basically playing D&D but as a video game.
That's what I want. That's what I want. Kill, kill, kill.
The thing I love about Neverwinter Nights is the map editor, and like you can make your own scenarios and stuff. So
Okay, I'm back. That just took like 2 seconds, so I shouldn't have said goodbye.
Farewell, everyone, and I'm back.
The outtakes for this are going to be beautiful.
I'm actually currently looking at Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition on Steam. Looks okay, actually.
Yeah. I've been planning on picking it up. It has proper crossplay between the consoles and PC as well. So no matter where I pick it up, it's viable to play online.
Nice.
Okay. So I think this has actually been quite a fun first podcast.
It doesn't matter how long this
Yeah.
podcast is anymore. You can keep going because the shop's already closed.
Oh, now RaeRae is committed to the podcast. Now, when we are about to wrap it up, are we good enough now since your little shop has
I was
closed?
committed to this podcast the whole time. I didn't touch Animal Crossing as soon as we started.
I can
confirm?
hear some
That's true.
deception in that voice.
I lost everyone.
Yeah. That's my computer.
Oh, we've
Hello?
all been lost.
Yeah,
Can you
you're back.
hear?
The computer went into screen save, and so decided to deactivate the TV.
It's the computer that doesn't want us to talk anymore.
It's
So
like,
for
good
the
God, guys,
what
it's
I'm
late. Let's go.
thinking is, I know I have an outro of my own, and Frosty, you have one. Jake, do you have a way that you sign out of your stuff?
Not really. I just I write music for my stuff, so I have the little outro tune.
Okay.
I don't mind. You can do whatever you feel.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say basically until next time, keep it geeky. Frosty, you're welcome to say stay frosty. And everybody else, I guess.
This is your podcast. I'll keep it geeky.
Power Rangers disassemble.
Is that what they said?
Power podcasters disassemble.
Sure.
True.
Guys, the only one who said their Power Ranger was Ellen.
That is true.
All fair Power Rangers.
Leave me in the lurch.
I just like Rita Repulsa anyway, so.
Okay, well,
I mean, that's a villain. That's a true villain.
I'm Kimberly, the Pink Ranger.
For me, it would be the green.
And I'm with Frosty. I'd be the green. Although, probably, to be honest, I actually liked him more when he became the White Ranger. But
True.
Yeah, he was like golden and white.
yeah, the gold and white. That's a good look.
I think I had a White Ranger figure, actually.
Because
nice.
the thing is, the White Ranger, after he became the White Ranger, then he was
A good guy.
no, then he was Kimberly's boyfriend.
Ah, okay.
So when he was the Green Ranger, he was an alien.
He wasn't really an alien.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, I've watched Power Rangers too long ago.
Putty.
Yeah, I'm sure he was a
I
putty.
didn't think he was a putty. I thought he was brainwashed by Rita.
Maybe he was brainwashed. I don't remember. It was a long time ago.
How do you guys remember stuff from that long ago?
I mean, we
I
were
don't know,
kind of
but I
obsessed.
have to say the fact that he is the longest running actor on the Power Rangers series is just a beauty alone, right?
Right.
Didn't one of those actors end up being a murderer?
What?
I feel like
I
one of
have
them
no
ended up.
idea.
I feel like one of them ended up like killing his wife or something like that, like something very dark.
I'm just gonna keep this podcast going for a second. I'm just gonna Google that.
Just Google Power Ranger murder. That's probably enough. I'm just here to lower the tone and chew gum, and I'm all out of gum.
I mean, there was.
The second search.
Okay, I'm googling.
Junior.
I'm googling Power Ranger murder, and these suggestions I'm getting: Power Ranger murderer anchor. Power Ranger murdered someone. Power Ranger murders roommate. Power Ranger murderer Skylar.
Oh yeah, I think it was that one. I think it's
It
the
was his
roommate.
roommate. But just so you know, he wasn't in the original cast. He was in Power Rangers Wild Force and Power Rangers Samurai, and those are not the original Power Rangers.
Yeah.
No,
Actually,
no.
no. This is from.
That's an interesting fact of the day. There was a Power Ranger who was also a murderer.
So he
That's
was.
the Power Ranger I'd be.
He was. He was
Seeing
chaotic
the eyes of
neutral.
your victims.
You would think that, like, if you played a hero on TV, you would learn when you were a kid. You would learn not to be a murderer.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we were talking earlier
you-
how we got all environmentalism shoved in our face, but there's no environmentalists around today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
those
think I need to
Gen
show
Z
you the
kids that
boys
care
on
about the planet
Amazon as
now.
well.
No.
Because that's a good superhero TV show.
Captain Planet.
No,
Yes. Captain Planet is an excellent superhero TV show, and now I'm just gonna sing the song.
Captain Planet.
Captain
He's
Planet,
the hero.
he's a hero, gonna
Go
take
bring
pollution down to
zero.
I can't actually sing. Please edit that out because
We need to take to the streets singing that
Come
song.
Can I
Hey,
sing
guys.
it better?
I mean, if we can get a chorus of everybody singing Captain Planet, go for it.
I can't remember the theme song. I can't take part.
What's the lines?
It's Captain Planet. He's our hero. He's gonna take pollution down to zero.
Okay.
Hold
And
on, let
then
me
I
actually
can't remember
Google.
the next line.
Hold on.
Fighting on the planet side.
I think this idea is doomed, and I will not partake.
Hold on. I got it.
This
Edit
idea is
it out. I don't,
doomed.
Nathan. I'm serious.
Captain Planet lyrics. Here we go.
Action Man, the greatest
there we
hero
go.
of them all.
Captain Planet, he's a hero, gonna take pollution down to zero. He's our powers magnified, and he's fighting on the planet side.
On the planet side.
DuckTales, woo! Da, 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 da,
Seriously,
da,
Phil Collins wrote this
da,
song?
DuckTales,
Guys.
woo!
Guys, I have learned a new fact. Phil Collins wrote the Captain Planet theme song.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love how you're like, oh yeah, of course, I knew that.
I'm gonna play it.
Oh, maybe you're not allowed to?
Oh, well, I could totally play it, but then I will really have to edit it out.
Go, Planet!
Are you sure it's not worth just like not editing this at all and just shoving it out there?
This is going to be very long.
I
It's
I mean,
11 o'clock at night.
Chuck this out as it is.
yeah, I've been watching like EFAP recently. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
No.
But it's just a bunch of guys podcasting. They watch other videos, but it's called Every Frame a Pause because they just pause it like constantly and just talk about every little detail. And their podcasts are like 6 hours long. So
I mean, some people will listen. Yeah.
No, he has to edit out the Captain Planet thing because it's off-brand.
Yeah, it's
Captain
off-brand.
Planet's
and-
not off-brand. Captain Planet's totally a geek feature.
No, I'm talking about for me.
Imagine a geek superhero, right? It's Captain Planet, hands down.
Yeah, he is a bit of a.
He's quite geeky.
To be honest with you, especially Heart.
Oh yeah.
Wind, fire, water, heart.
Heart.
But other
Oh,
bizarre
oh,
superheroes, you got Geekazoid.
Oh no, it's Freakazoid.
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 No, it's
Chimpanzee.
Freakazoid. I'm messing with you.
Wait, how does that theme song go? Wait,
Freakazoid. Chimpanzee. That's what I remember from the theme song.
that's later.
I just
It's like
googled the original
Super teen
DuckTales.
extraordinaire. Freakazoid, Freakazoid, runs around in underwear. Freakazoid,
Yeah,
Freakazoid. What? Then what?
I can't remember. I just remember Freakazoid.
I
Chimpanzee.
remember the tune. It's like do 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 do. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, are you playing
What?
it?
No, he's found the lyrics, but that's not the right. That's a song.
That's an
called
actual song.
It's a real song called Freakazoid. That's the wrong thing. Freakazoid theme song. It's like the first thing that comes up.
I found the original DuckTales one.
Woo!
DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo!
I feel like that's a god tier 90s and 80s theme song.
Bad and good luck tales. Woo-hoo. The danger lurks behind you. There's a stranger out to find you. What to do? Just grab onto some DuckTales.
DuckTales, woo!
I feel that that's one of the greatest theme songs of the 80s and 90s.
Here it
Right.
is. Ready? Here's Freakazoid. Super teen extraordinaire. Freakazoid. Freakazoid. Runs around in underwear. Freakazoid. Freakazoid. Rescues
You're not really
Washington, D.C.
spelling it.
Freakazoid. Freakazoid. Unless something better's on TV. Freakazoid. Freakazoid. His brain is overloading. This was not in the theme song. This is the lyrics, but this is not right.
Is
Where's the-
Freakazoid
Oh, yeah, there we go.
is Freakazoid politically correct nowadays?
I don't know,
probably not.
To say
actually.
Freakazoid?
No,
That's a
probably
good
not.
question.
Check out Dexter Douglas, nerd computer ace, was surfing on the internet and
Oh,
was
he's a geek then! He's a geek! Because they mentioned he was a nerd, so he's
Yeah.
very on brand for this, actually.
He's a very on-brand superhero.
Yeah. There is the bit, they said it later, Freakazoid Chimpanzee. There
Yeah,
was
that's
that.
the only part of the song I remember. Freakazoid, chimpanzee.
Guys, you guys are missing out the best songs, which were from the Animaniacs.
Oh, Animaniacs is great.
Yeah, that was a good cartoon.
Just a brilliant theme song as
Do you
well.
wanna
I
sing
feel
the
the
theme
theme
song?
songs
No,
were...
because I don't know all the words to the theme song for Animaniacs because it changed all the time.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was very
had that,
long
like-
as well.
They had that line, there was a line, I just remember one episode, there was a line that was like, it's time for Animaniacs, and Bill Clinton plays the sax.
Yeah, that was in the song all the time. That wasn't just a once off.
Really?
Yeah, that was in it. And Bill Clinton plays the sax. We're Animaniacs. It's in the whole song.
Oh my god, here we go. We've got it. Maybe we'll sing this one. It is the best one.
I don't. It's
You
really
don't think
long. It's really.
It is very long, but
it's
yeah, there
quite
you go.
long.
While Bill Clinton
Yeah,
plays the sax.
It's
I
the
mean-
very end. The very end is when it usually changed. It was like da 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 da.
Those are the facts. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But they also had such brilliant songs as like the states of the United States and the president of the United States and the countries of the world, which is
That was a very good one. Education.
Well, I mean, that one's wrong.
It's
now,
really
which
I
is
mean,
why they
it's
did
out of date.
The original voice actors did an update.
okay. Well, I know what I'm doing after this podcast is over. I don't know what everybody else is doing, but I'm going to go check out the new Animaniacs Countries of the World song.
Well, I'm going
Okay.
to go to bed because it's 12 a.m. 10 past 12.
Yes, so I think this might be a good time to wrap it up with so many sidetracks.
Too many
I'm
side
editing
tracks,
this
actually.
video podcast.
Podcast. It's just editing audio, and then I need to go and create some animations and stuff to run while it plays on the channel.
It was at that moment that everybody realized that it's too late.
Yeah, we've
This
decided.
is very good. Very good,
Thank
Morgan
you.
Freeman.
I can also do a pretty good Elmo. Geeky has
I
experience.
have heard you, Elmo. I feel that this is a necessity right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody ready for this?
Yep.
Elmo had so much fun with all his friends on the podcast tonight.
That's going to be your sign off.
Elmo would just like to say thank you for tuning into the podcast, and everybody should keep it geeky. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you all for listening to the podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments below, and we will hand back now to presenter Geeky. Hey, well, that was a pretty sweet podcast, in my opinion. I hope you all agree. Let us know in the comments below. As Podcast Geeky said, we will be there to have a chat with you all and keep that communication going. Now, why don't we go over to Board Game Corner, check in with Board Game Geeky, and see what game they're playing this month on the Geeky N8 Show.
So 3, 2, 1. Let's
get
geeky.
That really worked well.
3, 2, 1.
Let's
get
get
geeky.
Let's
Let's
get
get
geeky.
geeky.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. If you would like to take a part in the show, please let us know by emailing geekyn8@gmail.com. Make sure that you've hit the subscribe button and that notification bell to be able to keep up to date with every part of the Geeky N8 Show as it drops every Saturday. And don't forget to comment, like on all of our videos to let us know just how much you're enjoying what's going on with the new face of the Geeky N8 channel.